Hey there, and welcome to Real Brides. This is the podcast where we sit down with recently married brides to talk all things wedding, with real advice from brides who have been there, done that, and want to help you do it better.
I'm Rosana with Shotwell Productions, New Jersey's highest rated photography and videography company.
Let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Brides podcast. I'm Rosana, and today we're here with Vanessa. Welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
We love having you here. You guys got married. You had two weddings. You had a small micro wedding, and then you had your reception at the Chauncey Hotel in June. And today I want to talk to you about one of the decisions that you made before, after you've already chosen your venue. But I want to talk to you about videography because you guys decided to do videography.
We did videography. It was something we had been on the fence about. We were paying for our wedding ourselves, so we were like trying to see what would be the most budget friendly route and what we could take out that would, not really affect our day. We ended up cutting back on florals because I really thought it would be valuable to have the video, and I'm so glad that we did, especially because we had two weddings and both were like kind of a little crazy hectic. Like the day just moves so fast, and when people tell you that like it just flies by, it does. And there was so much that I didn't even realize had been going on around us, like just seeing all of our friends and family. My sister had done videography, and our aunt passed away. She passed away like within a couple of weeks of my sister's wedding, and we had this video of her like right at the end, and it's so special to have those memories and those moments. And photos are great, and I obviously appreciate those very much, but there's just something about seeing these moments and like getting to relive them. So it's worth it.
I agree. I always tell people, I'm like, you can always have a photo, but you can't hear a photo. So sometimes having video is really nice to kind of like remember the sound of their voice and things like that.
Yes, it's so special. And even we sent video to our best man and our maid of honor, my sister and my husband's best friend, and like they got to hear their speeches, and they had been so nervous and didn't even really remember what they had said. And it's awesome to have that opportunity to relive those moments. Even it was just our wedding anniversary, we popped it on and we get to watch both, which is nice. We got to see some of the first wedding, which was a lot of fun and had a very small group of people, but so special. And then our larger reception, just seeing everybody dancing, having a great time. It's awesome.
Now, I know that, did you guys have your own vows for your your first ceremony?
We didn't, but my brother-in-law officiated our wedding, and he wrote everything, and it was incredible. It was so special, so fun to like look back and see just some of the things he said that were so personal to us. But again, like it's just all this stuff kind of happening at once. You kind of forget. You remember the feeling, but not the words, and like going back and seeing that is awesome.
Now, I know, like, when my husband and I, we watch our wedding video for our anniversary, and doesn't matter how many times I watch it, like, I'll watch the same thing over and over again, and I feel like I forget, like,
that, for sure.
For year to year, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot, your vows were so sweet, or, like, you really shouldn't have said that in front of my dad, but...
Yeah, no, ours are funny. Like, I feel like our best man and maid of honor really they were so funny, and it just like looking back at it, like people love you and care about this, but it's your wedding, so you're like, oh, do they care as much as I do? And we rewatch and we're like, wow, like everybody was so involved and they really cared about this moment between us. So it's just amazing to look back, and we watch our videos every year on our anniversary. So
now, do you ever get to watch like the dance floor footage from your reception? Is anyone like really cutting up a rug?
Yeah, yes, yes. So there are some people who definitely had more fun than others, but like they really had a good time. And even like sometimes I like when we watch it, I see me and Steve and I'm like, oh, like what were we doing? But we were having such a good time. So, a little bit of cringe when you watch yourself, but again, awesome. Like just so worth having those memories captured.
Now, I know you said you were like, you guys paid for your wedding, budget was a big concern. And like,
Yes.
I feel like a lot of couples, a lot of times, like, videography is one of the first things on the chopping block. And I know you said you chopped florals down because you were like, so what kind of like carried that decision for you?
So I remember specifically saying to my sister, like, is there a rule book on what is important for your wedding? And she's like, well, you have to make sure you invest in the florals and you have to invest in this. And I remember thinking, like, why? Like, we're going to throw out all these flowers. And I hate to say it, like, no, nothing towards florals. I was a florist for a long time. I love flowers, they're amazing. But at the end of the day, like, those were going to be gone. And we were having these memories captured and I really just didn't trust that everybody there, like everybody was so involved and I didn't want them to have to stop having fun to like make sure they got a video or make sure they got a picture. Like I wanted that handled by somebody else who was going to make sure everything was preserved and our most important moments were captured. So, it was worth the investment. It's an investment, but 5 years later we're still watching, so
Yeah,
yeah.
that's some pretty good advice. Now, how did you choose the right photographer? Because there's so many out there. Like,
It's overwhelming.
where did you start to like look for like photographers, videographers, and all those kinds of people, like those kinds of vendors?
So first of all, you guys are like super local, and
Yeah.
it was important that we got to sit and meet our photographer and our videographer, and we wanted to make sure it was somebody that like we had a very good connection with. And we had our engagement photos done by somebody else originally who was super nice, but it was just not the right fit. And it's important, I think, to have a good connection. And we had such a good connection with you and Rob. And I don't know that we would have even considered looking more into the videography, but the way you guys had explained it to us, like it really, it was important. And it was something that you didn't sell us, but it was like,
I was gonna say, I'm like, we didn't like force you to do it, did we?
Hey, you didn't force us, but we had such a good connection with you guys, and it just seemed like the right fit. You guys were local to us, but also to the venue. You knew the venue, and so that was important to us, even though that wasn't where we ended up having our first wedding. Like you guys were also super flexible, and that was important too, because I don't know that everybody would have been like, oh well, you're having two, and we are not going to make it to one of them. Sorry, like it's and you know
Yeah,
getting the right person and having the right connection
yeah.
for all the vendors was important.
No, this is like a toot your own horn kind of moment, but like one of the things that's very important to us at Shotwell Productions is integrity. And one of the part of that is like if you say that you're going to do something, you do it. You make it happen.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I love that. I love that.
For sure.
So, is there any advice like you want to give to someone who's maybe considering like they're kind of on the fence about getting videography? Like,
I would say definitely at least get the highlight reel. Like if you can't budget for the whole event, get the highlight reel, give yourself the opportunity to relive it. You have no idea, and I say this and it sounds maybe like a little morbid, but you just don't know who's going to be there a
yeah,
couple of years down the road and like how important that really really is. So, I would say if you're going to cut, do not cut from something that years from now you'll still have.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Well, this has been a great discussion, Vanessa. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Our viewers will really appreciate your insights, so thank you, and we'll see you next time.
This is it for this episode of Real Brides. If you found something helpful, make sure to follow, subscribe, or share it with someone who is planning their I do. We have new episodes every week packed with more real talk from real brides. No filters, just facts. Thanks for listening and happy planning.